And we're back to Jaylee Art Creations. Let's draw a pattern. Okay, so I already have this floral drawing and I use this to make a pattern. I discovered how to do this on accident last week and I turned it into a mural uh, during the weekend. So I figured this would be a good tutorial to show other people how to do it. And in the meantime, we just kind of sit and talk, get to know each other. Something that led to this is um, I really want to get good at floral designs, but I really like line drawing whenever it comes to floral. I don't do excellent just drawing off the top of my head, so I like to have a reference photo. Whenever I created the original picture, I was looking at different pictures on the internet. I didn't copy it, but they were good references to just know how the petals flew. Something to keep in mind is perspective. So if something's closer to you, it's bigger and you have to draw like the folds, whereas something's further away from you, it's a little bit smaller. So trying to figure how trying to figure out how to do that off the top of your head is kind of challenging and a skill if you can do it. But I cannot. And I don't want to stress myself over that. So I just like to have my reference photos. It looks like I kind of lose thought while doing this, and it's really peaceful. There's nothing wrong with a reference photo. So I have a few different kind of flowers and small wildflowers thrown in there that I'm drawing. I'll get a closer up of the picture on the next clip. I'm doing this with pencil first. The next clip, I'll be going over the outlines with a pen. So this way, when it's time to take a picture of it, those lines come out nice and clear. Something you could do this for as far as whenever the pattern is complete. You can use it for a Cricut pattern. You can use it for a projection to embroider onto something. You can use it as a color page. Make your own little coloring book. Just print it out over and over again. So here I am, just a close up of what I was drawing, and now I'm going over it with pen. I cannot draw a straight line to save my life. So if you feel like if you can't draw a straight line, you can't be an artist, that is false. I also can't trace that well. As the video goes on, you'll see that I make a lot of poorly drawn, followed tracing lines. Um, but the cool thing is with the pencil is you can just go through and erase it whenever you're done. So it's not a big deal. It's supposed to be fun. If you're stressing out about your piece, then you're not going to have fun, and people are going to register that whenever they're looking at your art. If you're having fun, your lines are just going to flow however they flow naturally, and that's what people like, regardless of how it looks. So just enjoy the process. Don't stress about it and feel it through. Another note is to add texture. Anytime you can add texture or details, do it because it's a game changer. Like the petals at the bottom of the screen, if I didn't add those lines, it would have just looked like a blank flower, which was pretty, but it made the difference between pretty and unique. And in these petals, I add lines on them. I don't think I'm gonna do it right now. I'll do it eventually, but you'll see. It adds just a different type of texture. It jumps off the page a little bit more. It fills in the negative space. Negative space is to where it's just white and there's nothing happening. There we go. So just draw in lines. I mean, it doesn't have to be realistic, but it looks really pretty and it looks nice by the end of it. Anywhere you can add texture that makes sense with the picture, and whenever I say makes sense with the picture, I mean like it flows. So I have those textured lines on the bottom half of all of the leaves. It flows because they match. If I was doing like alternating parts of the leaves, it probably wouldn't flow that well. So That's where it takes just like critical thinking on how would this look in the long run. And here I come in with more textured of the under petals of this flower. So it's not like I'm putting lines on random parts of the petals. They're all on the undersides or the shadows of this flower. That's what makes the difference between an okay picture versus a really pretty picture or a picture that stands out. Kind of a side note, the house that I moved into last year, it's just become my home studio. It has the perfect energy for it. It's created a lot of motivation for me, and she's perfect. I mean, just look at the background, look at those walls. It's like basically my own art studio. And my husband and my son just kind of exist here with me. Drawing at this angle wasn't as hard as I thought it would. I'd say the only hard part is that my arm is sore from doing a mural. Uh, Next week, stay tuned. I'm going to be posting one of the murals I did this past weekend, and it's going to be with the original pattern that I was going off of. So you can turn this into really anything. Like I said, once you create the base drawing, there's a lot you can do with it. So the sky's the limit. So for this flower, if you notice, the lines that I'm drawing are for the insides of the petals, not the outsides of the petals, opposite of the other flower that I did. I thought it would be nice to have a close-up drawing of just the drawing paper and my hands. It wasn't as easy to juggle the camera and my hand moving, but that's what it looked like. I did fast forward the speed. So now it's time to make the pattern. Now that you have the picture, something I didn't show the process of is I took a picture of my paper on my phone and I emailed it to myself. I did crop it. That's about it. I recommend if you take a picture of your work, do it in natural lighting, not direct sunlight, not shadows, just natural lighting. I'm using Adobe Express to format this, and you just copy and paste it. Instead of right clicking, I just click Control C to copy and Control V to paste. And with the pasted option, I mirror it. This is how the pattern comes about. Scooch it on over, and I didn't write the buttons I click, but to select both, I click Control and Shift at the same time while I click both images, and so it highlights both. And then again, I just Control C to copy, Control V to paste. I mirror it, and then I move it on up. And then again, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, mirror it, and move it up. It's that simple. I did have a couple of hiccups, like I moved it off center a little bit so that I just eyeball and adjust how I need to, because it'll bug me if it's not the same or if it's not balanced. And once you're, oh, see, it's a little bit off balance. I don't know if you could tell, but I could tell. I could really tell. So once you get it to where it's where you want it, I'm going to select all of them. So again, I'm going to click Control and Shift at the same time while I select each image. And this will move them all as like one unit, which is really nice. These are things that I learned in like high school because I'm like the youngest millennial or the older Gen Z. So these are just the core things that you learn. Um, If you're older than me, you may not have learned this stuff in school, right? Um, if you're younger than me, you probably knew it. Public education has come a long way since even I was in high school. My kid is in first grade and he's already learning how to type. I didn't know how to do that till I was in junior high. But yeah, these are just the little tricks that might help you out. So here I'm selecting all of them again with control and shift at the same time. And now I can move them all at once as a whole unit. And that makes it really helpful. I excuse me. I made this on a the size of a phone wallpaper. So ideally I made myself a phone wallpaper, but you can make this as a again a coloring page. You can print it out and iron it onto a bag or napkins or make a poster of it. And there you have it. Look, aren't I cute? I'm so happy. I'm celebrating. So it's something that's very similar to this that I made a mural. Again, I'm going to be loading that video next week on the process of making a mural. It was on the ceiling and projecting it. You can do this with anything. You can do this with trees. You can do this with people and mirroring it. The sky's the limit. And that's one of the best things about art. That's about it for today. Thank you so much for checking in. I hope you liked this tutorial and I hope you have fun. Let me know if you have any questions. Like and subscribe, guys. Thanks.